And welcome back to Music Free Gaming here on YouTube. And this is the Create Mod series, and it's so great to have you here. I am finally getting around to something I have wanted to do for a long time. Ever since I upgraded to 119, and actually even before, I've wanted to get froglights. And today is going to be the first step in that process. All right, so I am now on my way. I double-checked Chunk Base, and I think, if it's correct, there should be a mangrove forest out this way. So I'm going to fly out here and hope that it's right and hope that I haven't generated these chunks before, and that looks like I have not. So let's see what we find when we get out there. All right, I've stopped here on this hilltop. I've found a swamp, which is a plus. It's not mangrove yet, but there's also something really nice up here that I've stumbled across, and this is a windswept hill. Now, this is nice because this is the first cold biome I've actually run into, which is awesome. Now, I could worry about breeding frogs here. I'm not going to, but this is a place I might want to keep in mind for maybe setting up an ice farm or maybe even a powdered snow farm. Just though maybe someplace a little bigger would be good. I don't need ice as much since the Create mod gives me most of what I need for moving things around, but I don't need those guys either. But what I do need, oh, they're gonna come get me now, aren't they? Anyway, what I do need is powdered snow, so that would be nice to keep in mind. In the meantime, I'm going to take off and let those guys do their thing. Well, that didn't take long. Just a quick hop, skip, and a jump. That's the hill I was standing on. And the regular swamp has become mangrove swamp here fairly quickly, which is awesome. And there's the propagules, which I'm definitely getting. I didn't bring a hoe with me. Well, that's unfortunate. But I definitely want to be getting some mangrove. So, because I think I need to set up a mangrove farm or factory back at my base. Just like the other tree farms, I am definitely going to be needing all of the mangrove because it's a cool block. It's such an awesome color. But I need the propagules, and then I also need to find frogs. So, like that guy right there. So maybe I'll do that before I harvest all of these mangrove trees for their propagule goodness. And yeah, let's get some frog breeding going. All right, well, this is great. I found a couple of frogs, and I was a little surprised to find an orange one. The white one I expected, but the orange I was surprised. It turns out regular swamps are temperate and mangrove swamps are hot, hence different colored frogs, which is awesome. Now, I did not think ahead of time to bring a post to tie these guys to, so I'm going to go ahead and just craft up a nice mangrove fence here to attach these leads to so that I can keep these frogs close. And boom, there we go. So now I can just whip out my handy dandy slime balls right here. Get these guys breeding. And that's right. Yo, there you go. There you go. Happy frogs. And hopefully start getting some tadpoles. And while they're doing that, come on, you guys can do it. You can find your... I don't want to have to... Come on, you guys can do it. It's all right. You can be in the water and make your happy little tadpoles there. That's fine. We can do this. And anyway, so once we do that, or while we're waiting for them to do that, I'm going to go ahead and collect my propagules. All right, I have been farming some propagules. Got a few, not a huge number, but hey, at least it's been keeping busy. And so have my frogs. They have been getting busy as well. And I've got some frog spawn hanging out here in the water, which is great. And I think I just had them get all the lovey hearties things again. So I may end up with a few more frog spawn. I'm hoping I can get at least 2 tadpoles so I can take those back home and do all of the breedy at home where things are much more comfortable than this muddy swamp. Well, look at all those little guys swimming away. Now, here comes the fun of, can I actually scoop them up? Because my scooping ability is pretty bad. There we go. There we go. Bucket. That's what I'm talking about. There's another one. And let's see. I think I saw at least one more. Yeah, there's the little guy. Sweet. That's pretty much all I need here, really. And as you can see, I've been deforesting the swamp here just a little bit. I've also been grabbing some lily pads. I don't typically need to build with them, but they're very nice. Like if you want to do guardian farms or things like that, it's nice to have a lily pad that you can just slap down and start a build in the middle of an ocean. So I'm going to gather up a few of those because, hey, whoa, that's a little close. Okay, this is called planning ahead. So I do that on occasion. I know. I'm trying to get more into the whole planning thing, and it's hard. It makes my brain hurt and my heart sad. But it also makes my heart happy because I end up having the stuff I need when I need it, which is makes doing these episodes really nice. So I'm going to hang around here, let these frog spawn hatch just to scoop up a couple of more, and then I think it's time to head back to the base. I have the beginnings of a frog breeder. Now this is an interesting location for a frog breeder because on this side, let me pop up the mini HUD, and you see the biome over here is plains on this side, but over on this side it's savanna, which means I will get 2 different colored frogs. This side will give me white frogs, and this side will give me orange frogs. So this is perfect. The only thing I don't get in this area is cold frogs, which are green, but I can go breed those in the end. So let's, I guess actually what I can do, I have some tadpoles here, but I have no inventory space. Well, that's dumb. But what I could do is start getting some frogs breeding out here and maybe put a roof on and do some other cool stuff. So let's get to that. Here is my very basic little frog breeder. It's not a really super crazy build. It's got some nice stuff going. These I've got these fence posts. You can grab a couple of leads. So if you want to be sure the frogs breed over in a specific area, that is easily done. And then I've just threw in some terracotta, some white terracotta, some just the plain, so you can see, oh yeah, those are white frogs. These are orange frogs. And I thought it would be cool just to throw a little green glazed terracotta in here just for grins and giggles. On the outside, again, super basic, nothing too crazy. I'm not living in this house. This is strictly a spot for frogs to do their whole breedy goodness. And I think it's going to work out okay. Now I just need to wait for some of these frogs to breed so I can take some of them back to my base. And of course, by breeding, I mean grow up, because they're tadpoles and they're not even frogs yet. But at some point they will become frogs, and then I will bring some of them back to my base. Words are hard, yo. And the grammar police have shown up at my house. Look at these guys. They're just sort of walking circles around my new little frog breeder, because apparently the fact that I mistook tadpoles growing up for frogs breeding is like a crime punishable by death or something. So, well, that's not ideal. And I've brought a couple of frogs back to my base. So I think that The orange one and the white ones are going to look great in the terrarium. Now, I was thinking about this. I could just break the glass and drag them in there. But rather than do that, let's cut down this door for a minute. I'm going to drag them through here. Come on, guys. You can do it. That's right. Or not. I guess they can't do it. I expected too much of you. Okay. There we go. I'm going to drag them through. And what I did is I basically set up a nice little access door. Check. Come on. That's right. You're going to come this way. I set up an access door in the side so that I can get in and out. This way, what I can do is basically just set up a little area where I can breed up tadpoles rather than whole frogs. Just in case I want to maybe take them somewhere else, grow them somewhere else, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and drag these guys out this way, or, you know, let them meander out on their own. That's right, big guy. You can do it. You can do it. And they're going to have this lovely home here. And there they are. Don't they look cute, hopping around in the terrarium? The turtles are, I gave them a nudge. They've moved around a little bit, but this is great. So they'll hop around and, yep, there they go, hopping. Well, that's going to add a nice little bit of color and movement to the terrarium as they get used to and move into their new home. I fully expect them to set up like a big screen TV or something. You never know. Frogs are weird. All right, so I've got the beginnings of the machine, and let me show you here what I've got to deal with. So here's a mangrove propagule, and let's drop this thing with some bone meal. There we go. Now you can see the mangrove sprouts up like this big spider type dealy bob. Well, the central log goes away. I mean, it's up here, but you end up just with these mangrove roots, and then the tree itself is way up there, which is not at all helpful. So it turns out, though, the way Create handles things is if you use a mechanical saw on any of these mangrove roots, the whole thing collapses. So let's see how this works. So I've got the mechanical saw, I've got the crank here, and boom, there it goes. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that and basically set up saws all along here. Now, you can see I've set this up a little bit differently from the rest of the farms here, where I just have the circle go around. And so the jungle finished, so it's done. Because mangrove is weird, I'm only going to plant it in these 4 spaces, okay? And so I'm going to have the deployer. It's going to feed down right into the gap. And because everything else is stone, that's the only place it's going to be able to slap propagules, right? So I happen to have a whole stack here. So let me glue this machine together and we'll see how this thing can spin. All right, and there she goes. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I can reach that without getting my head sliced off. So I was hoping I could just bone meal that, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So just have to wait for those to grow. And while that happens, I can set up the PSIs and the fun little thingy to get all of the mangrove into the vault. And maybe somewhere along the line, I will remember how to speak, because it's going to be one of those days. All right, and everything is set up. I made a little bit of a mistake when I built the thing. I put the turnstile 1 block too close, so I just shift the PSI that's there back 1 block. But It's all good. So we'll let this thing spin for a little bit, and eventually a mangrove tree is going to go and grow, and this will start chopping. Perfect. And that's exactly how that's supposed to work. And I think that is going to do it for me today. This has been great. I've got frogs. I've got mangrove. Well, I mean, a very little bit amount of mangrove, but I've got it anyway. Thank you all for hanging around and joining me today. Remember to like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, be excellent to each other. This is Music Free Gaming signing off.